Hi, in this video we're going to introduce the idea of the chain rule, but first of all we're going to differentiate y is equal to 3x plus 2 squared with respect to x, exploring the idea of the chain rule, and hence we're going to differentiate something more complicated, y is equal to 3x plus 2 to the power of 20. So if we differentiate 3x squared plus 2 squared, well, one way would be to say that d dx of 3x plus 2 squared is the same as d dx of, expanding that, 9x squared plus 12x plus 4, and then differentiate term by term. So that's 18x plus, from 18x and then plus 12 and nothing from the 4. And if we take out a common factor, we get 6 times 3x plus 2. Now, what happens if we had to differentiate something like 3x plus 2 cubed, or 3x plus 2 to the power of 4, or 3x plus 2 to the power of 5? Are we really going to want to expand it and then differentiate term by term? Or even, like what we're going to eventually do, 3x plus 2 to the power of 20? This would actually probably take a long time to expanding using the binomial theorem and then differentiating term by term. So another way of doing it, and we'll just look at the way of doing it first and then we'll look at the rule in a minute, is if I want to do d dx of 3x plus 2 to the power of 2, what you do is you take the 2 and you put it down in front of the bracket. So bring down the power in front of the bracket. Write down the bracket and reduce the power by 1. So because it was power 2 to begin with, it's now 1. Okay, and then you differentiate whatever is in the bracket. So differential of 3x plus 2 is 3. And then combine it together, we're going to get 3 times 2. And in the bracket we've got 3x plus 2 to the power of 1. So we can see we've got the same thing. Now, why does this work? What we've applied here is this rule called the chain rule. Now, so why does this work? Okay, so if we let's see why this works. If we know that dy by dx is the limit as delta x goes to 0, let's make that look a little bit more like a delta, of delta y over divided by delta x. That is the formal definition of dy by dx. So we can think of this as dy by dx as a limit as a little bit of x goes to 0 of a little bit of y divided by a little bit of x. So if we now say let y be f of u, and I'll explain what this means in a minute, and u is some other function g of x. So for example, we got y is equal to 3x plus to the power of 2 like we just did. Then we could say this is y is equal to u squared, so it's a bracket squared, and we could say that u is the bracket which is 3x plus 2. Then as x goes to 0, so as x approaches 0 here, then u will also approach 0, and then also because u is approaching 0, y will approach 0. Then we can say that a little bit of y over a little bit of x, or delta y over delta x, is going to be delta y over delta u times delta u over delta x. You can see these will cancel out and we end up with the same thing. Excuse me. If we take limits, like we did up here, then that's going to say that dy by dx is equal to dy by du times du by dx. These are not fractions, these are derivatives. And therefore, and this is what's known as the chain rule. Now don't worry too much if you don't really understand that, if you can understand the process at this time. So hence, if y is equal to 3x plus 2 squared, then let u be the bracket 3x plus 2, and that will imply that y is equal to u squared. Then if we differentiate this, so we'll get du by dx. Du by dx will be 3, and if we differentiate this with respect to u, we're going to get 2u. And then we're using the chain rule, we're going to get dy by dx is equal to 2u times 3, which was going to give me 6u, and because u was something that I invented, which is 3x plus 2, I'll replace the u, so we get 3x plus 2, and that's why this process works. Let's take something a bit more complicated, so we're going to differentiate y is equal to 3x plus 2 to the power of 20. So same idea, you let u be equal to the bracket 3x plus 2, y is equal to u to the power of 20. If we differentiate du by dx, we're going to get 3, and if we differentiate this, we're going to get 20u to the 19. Okay, so now using the chain rule, which is dy by dx is equal to dy by du times du by dx, this is known as the chain rule, then dy by dx will be 20u to the 19, which is dy by du, times du by dx, which is 3. And that will give me, the 3 with the 20 will give me 60, and if I replace the u with 3x plus 2, because that's what u was, and it's to the power of 19. Okay, so this has been a video to show you the introduction of the chain rule. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.